is. Welcome to Friday Night Lights, and they are burning brighter than ever for the 4A Western Conference Championship live on STSPN. Scott Ohsman joined along with Tim Boyle and Ron Henthorn. Boy, I tell you what, it's Monroe and Lake Stevens. Tim, how are you? But I already know the answer.
I'm fantastic because who wouldn't be? We're up here doing probably the best game in the state of Washington in quite a while.
As you like to say, something's got to give. Both 8-0 coming into this contest, and there's rivalries, and then there's rivalries. And I tell you what, this is one for the ages. Lake Stevens going for their 4th consecutive WESCO 4A championship, and what has been their little brother, the Bearcats, are kind of tired of that.
Oh, they are. And the rivalry, it's really probably Monroe not liking Lake Stevens is more than the opposite. Lake Stevens has kind of come up, Monroe's come up a little short the last couple of years, but this year, boy, I don't even know how to if you put a gun to my head, I'd probably just start crying. I wouldn't be able to pick. I wouldn't know what to do.
Are we going to even do predictions? It's just too tight.
I tell you, I think if we were in Vegas, Vegas would probably have Lake Stevens a 3-point favorite.
Because they're at home?
Yeah. Other than that, I think it's a coin flip. I mean, you got two really explosive offenses. One, you got the air raid against the ground and pound, but both of them, Lake Stevens can actually run the ball and Monroe can actually throw the ball too. So they're both deep that way.
Number 4, Lake Stevens AP poll, then number 7, Monroe. These are two top teams in the state. As Tim mentioned, everybody looking at this game tonight. And not only is it for the WESCO 4A championship, there's playoff indications as well. Who are they going to play from the NPSL? And there's all kinds of movement. So you talk to head coach in his 2nd year, which is unbelievable, Michael Bumpus, the Washington State, and also Seahawk, and then 12th year head coach Tom Try. No one's talking much about, we're both going to have home games and we want to win because we want to play the 1st or the 4th out of this division or whatnot, right?
No, I think they will be after this game. They did not look past this game, I promise you. And we had this game circled like at the beginning of the year. We were looking at the schedule and thinking this game would more than likely come down to the championship.
Let's start with the high-powered offense. We talked to both coaches before the game. Let's start the Lake Stevens Vikings, the home team. As you see, the captains now ready to go out, and we will have Ron Henthorn there for the coin toss. You'll hear it right here, so we'll be hopefully interrupted in a second here. You see the two captains, but you got to start with the Lake Stevens quarterback, number 8, the junior, Connor Bardew, just putting up silly stats.
Yeah, and what's scary is he's only a junior, too. The numbers he's put up are just they're like Sega Genesis numbers, when you're playing video games. But Connor Bardew's got 2,141 yards through the air, 34 touchdowns against only 4 interceptions. So just ridiculous numbers. And to go along with that, he's got a 74, almost 75% completion percentage. So just if you look at if you're just looking at the gaudy numbers, I would say, here we go. Hang on.
We're going to go down to Ron Henthorn in the coin toss with our referee, Steve Jensen.
You guys, and if you guys have issues, come to us, okay? We want a clean game, great sportsmanship. There's a lot of people here tonight to watch you guys. Okay, let's put on a great show, all of us together. Okay, White, you guys are visitors. You're going to call it. Okay, here's a tail. Here's a head. What are you calling?
We're going to call it tails.
Tails he calls. Tails he calls. Tails it is. Monroe has won the toss, select kick, receive, defend a goal, or defer until the second half.
Yeah, we're going to defer.
Defer? Okay. Okay. You guys want the ball? Okay, what way do you guys want to kick? Okay, so White's going to go over here, Lake's going to go over here.
There you go, okay. Tim Boyle. Monroe wins the coin toss. They defer, and Monroe in the white uniforms, Lake Stevens in their home, dark tops and purple and gold for the Vikings. Speaking of the Vikings.
So back to those, the gaudy numbers. I would say Lake Stevens has a little bit of edge if you're just looking at those offensive numbers, but both of them have ridiculous numbers. But, Lake Stevens is going to be more of an air raid offense, and you're going to see a little bit more of a ground and pound on Monroe.
The key players, Ekstrom, number 37, the senior. He has just all-purpose yards, 589 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns, and on the ground, 4 touchdowns for 233 yards. The big news, we talked to Coach Tom Try. He is nursing a hamstring that he received in their big win last week against Cascade, so we'll have to watch that. He's going to go. And then you have the air raid continues with Jake Rasmussen. Touchdowns, a holic here, 10 TDs. He picked up 5 last week alone against Cascade, the senior there. And then rounding it out is Anthony Hutchinson, 30 catches for 519 yards, 8 touchdowns. He has so many weapons to go through, too.
Oh, and if that's not enough, then you got Blake May, who's got about 1,000 yards rushing. So you got this high-powered offense, and then you also have high-powered air raid. You also have a 1,000-yard rusher in the mix, too. So
and Tom Try before the game, he's pretty confident about his defense. He says it's all about the defense.
It is, and I think what's going to happen tonight is a key to the game is going to be whose defense has more stamina, because both these teams have such a high-powered offense. If one of these teams starts to get the edge and starts wearing on that defense, it could be a problem.
And speaking of the Bearcats, they are hungry for a 4A title and also to get the Lake Stevens Vikings off their back. Talk about their prolific offense, and it's led by number 4, Zach Zimmerman, another Northwest 9 along with Connor Bardu. His numbers are absolutely off the chain, just ridiculous, the efficiency and the high-powered offense for Zach Zimmerman, the senior.
Well, we can talk about him because we actually saw him and called the game, and there really wasn't any holes in his game. I mean, when he got pressured, Glacier Peak got a little bit of pressure on him, he would just run the ball.
Biggest concern for Tom Try and many opponents, he's a dual-threat quarterback.
Absolutely. He's their second leading rusher behind, of course, J.J. Jerome. We'll get to him in a second. So really no holes in Zimmerman's game at all.
And speaking of J.J. Jerome, what does he not do? He does everything, makes the lunches, all-purpose, just machine through the air, on the ground. Everything runs through number 2, J.J. Jerome.
Yeah, and he's sitting on over 1,600 yards rushing. He's got 18 touchdowns, and the guy's just a beast. And not only is he going to do it on the offense, you're going to see him on defense, and he's one of their key defenders. There's a good chance he might be playing defense in college. I mean, some of the colleges that are looking at him as a linebacker, and he kind of looks like a linebacker. He goes at like 6 foot 210. He just kind of has that linebacker look to him.
No doubt. Offensively, when we talked to Tom Try about Jerome, he said we'd love to keep him, a 2-yard here, just keep him contained. Well, the guy averages over 12 yards per carry, so that is one of the first keys we're going to watch for Jerome.
And he's absolutely right, because if you saw when Glacier Peak played him, he'd run a couple, he'd get 2 on one and 2 on another, and then all of a sudden he was gone for 60, and that's what they don't want. But Tom Try said they've done a real good job containing. Nobody's even got an offensive touchdown rushing on him this year with the starters, to clarify.
And we talked to second-year head coach Michael Bumpus, and you could tell, Tim, he was, not that Try wasn't, but he is fired up. He said this is going to be an old-fashioned knockout, drag-out battle.
Yeah, and Bumpus, he's a Coug. He's played in a lot of big games in college. He played for the Seahawks. This isn't going to bother him at all. He's used to being in these big games like this, so he didn't even look like he was nervous. His heart rate was at about 34. He had the Lance Armstrong heart rate.
Just a few minutes before kickoff here. We're glad you're with us here on STSPN, our presentation of Western Conference High School 4A football as the teams come out on the field. Again, Lake Stevens in their home, purple and gold, and Monroe, the visitors, in white. They're only about 18 miles apart, the two high schools, but it's like they are right next door all year long. There was some smack talk here, Tim, leading up to this baby.
It's a little bit different of a rivalry than, say, Glacier Peak and Jackson or Glacier Peak and Snohomish, because there's a lot more distance between them. But don't get me wrong, there's definitely a rivalry here.
And the mirror on offense and defense is just telling. The Monroe Bearcats, they average total yards 471 yards per game. You go to Lake Stevens, 477.3 per game.
Well, and in addition to that, their scores are almost identical. They both average about 49 points a game, and they both give up about 7 points a game, so nearly identical.
Well, something will give, and you're going to see what happens next as the color guard is coming, and we will step away for the national anthem kickoff coming up on STSPN. There is not an empty seat in the place. You can see on your screen, Monroe Bearcats, I think the entire town of Monroe has driven just a few miles north here. They have taken up that grandstand and much more, Tim.
Oh, yeah, it's all standing room only across the field. It kind of reminds me of one of those Snohomish Glacier Peak games where there's no seats anywhere and everybody's just finding the closest place they can to stand, and that's what we got here.
Our referee tonight, our officiating crew, is Steve Jensen. The umpire is David Sather, linesman Don O'Neill, line judge Scott Pattison, and the back judge is Pat Sievers. Everybody who loves high school football.
Well, there's about 6 media outlets here, and looks like they're about to shake hands. Oh, are they starting to scrap right now?
Not sure what was going on.
Looks like Lake Stevens looks like there was some scrapping going. Almost, there's some trash talking, and they definitely didn't shake hands. I thought Lake Stevens was going over there to shake hands, but it turned into a little bit of extracurricular, almost.
Yes, let's talk about Monroe. Zach Zimmerman gets a lot of publicity, well-deserved, and then the J.J. Jerome, and then his brother, Josh Jerome, only 6'2", 275, a junior. But the important part for them has always been Isaiah Coles. He's got 13 touchdowns total. He's got 10 in the receiving end. He's going to be key both offense and defense. And then the other Isaiah Lewis, who definitely had some confidence earlier this week on the Prep Chatter podcast by Steve Willits and on the Sound Live Network.
Like, this is just another quarterback or something of that nature.
He said
I don't want to take it out of.
No, he's watched him on film. He has respect for him, but he didn't prepare nothing as special as any other quarterback, I think is what he said.
Well, let's see if he's right about that, because I think Connor Bardew is a special quarterback. I mean, with the numbers he's putting up, they're going to have their hands full. And now, Monroe's got a couple really good cornerbacks, but the problem is Lake Stevens has got about 3 really good receivers, so they're going to have their hands full. I don't know who has the edge necessarily, but it will be a battle. Like we said, something's got to give.
And that's what we'll watch. It'll be interesting, the matchups on the receivers. Ekstrom a little bit wounded tonight, we hear, but also Jake Rasmussen, Anthony Hutchinson, then Blake May, out of the backfield. Rasmussen getting hot late here. Tom Try and even Bardou talk about the great routes he runs. So we'll see what the matchups defensively are for the Bearcats as their defensive coordinator, Mr. Hammer, Joey Hammer.
How about that for a defensive coordinator?
You just
can't make that stuff up.
No. So the Bearcats will kick off, and number 4 is their heralded quarterback. He's also their kicker, and he's a pretty darn good kicker at that.
Zimmerman's you're going to see him everywhere too. Kicking, throwing, running.
Monroe won the coin toss. They deferred, so they'll get it the second half. And back to receive is Graff.
Hang on to your hats, everybody.
Here we go, the game of the week.
It's going to be returned.
And it is. Bringing it back out, Lake Stevens at his 10.
Okay.
He gets taken down. There's some extra business.
I don't think
going
these
on.
guys like each other.
I don't think they do either.
You're going to get it about the 28-yard line.
And that was Blake May with the return there.
Blake May, you're going to see a lot of him tonight. Their leading rusher. And he's got a lot of receiving yards too.
He has. He's 20 catches for 237 yards, 5 touchdowns for Mr. May.
And not that that's like a huge amount of receiving yards, but when you got 3 other people with all those other receiving yards, it is a lot.
The lines, we're told, are around the block. People trying to get in here. 1st and 10 from their own 28. Bardou. And it's a sweep here.
Nothing doing there. Everybody stayed home. Looks like he's tackled by number 72.
That's a senior, Jack Larson. And on the tackle, big Cody Schwint, the 6'3" senior.
Tried to turn the corner, but big number 72 was having nothing of it there. So he actually lost a couple, I think.
Yes, 2nd and 12 now from the 26. In motion, now he pitches it to May. May with a little room. Crosses the 30, still short of a first down. Opening series here for the Vikings.
So 2 runs by Lake Stevens to start the game off, and if we would have been predicting, we probably would have thought 2 passes. And they're kind of tackling them with a little extra aggression.
Oh, can you imagine the adrenaline right now? They are just super jacked up.
Off the hook.
3rd and 7 from their 32. Lake Stevens. May in motion. Bardou back to pass. Has time. Finds May. First down for the Vikings. Cross the 50 into Bearcat territory.
And that's Mr. May, correct?
Correct.
Again, he's going to run the ball. They'll throw the ball to him. And that's kind of what we expected out of Lake Stevens. We're going to see some tempo here. We talked about this at Starbucks before the game. We could see a high-scoring game. I mean, it could easily be 34, 36, something of that nature.
13-yard pickup, no doubt. First down. Here's May one more time. May, one man to beat. Blake May. Touchdown, Vikings.
And number 13 there in the defense really didn't do a good job. I don't know if you saw that, but he kind of stood there and wasn't sure what to do. Blake May put a couple juke moves on him, and he was off to the races.
45-yard run for Blake May. He knows all about how to find the end zone, Tim Boyle.
And I'm sure this is probably the first time Monroe's been behind all year.
Great point.
So now we're going to have to see what's inside of him. Man, this whole stadium is shaking.
It is. Our camera.
It feels like an earthquake in here.
On for the kick is Weidman.
Oh, and it was a low snap, and he got it off. Well, Lake Stevens draws first blood. It was good that they got the ball. That's what you want to do when you get the ball first.
10-19 left in the first quarter. Vikings, the home team, they're up 7-0. The Bearcats coming up. More after this. STSPN Friday Night Lights.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half ton, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Back here, STSPN, Lake Stevens High School. And Lake Stevens got the ball. They did what they want. They had a 3rd and 7. They converted on a big Blake May first down. Then they handed it right back to Blake May, 45-yard touchdown.
Yeah, so far all Blake May. And then they got those other 3 wide receivers that are high-powered, but they chose to use just Blake May.
So Monroe, we'll see if they can answer. And we talked a little bit before in our pre-production meeting. Do you want to get, if you're Monroe, do you want to get in a track meet here with Lake Stevens?
No, absolutely not. I think if you're Monroe, you want to slightly slow it down. Oh, that's a pooch kick and
ground.
Ooh, we've seen that backfire against Glacier Peak a few times, and kind of a pooch kick, and they barely came up with it.
That's Isaiah Cole who was able to get on it, and they're going to start this at the 20-yard line.
And Isaiah Cole, we're going to be calling his name a lot tonight. He was all over the place on the Glacier Peak win.
So big 4, Zach Zimmerman. And J.J. Jerome to his left, number 2, 1st and 10 from the 20. Jerome gets it. And good pursuit by Lake Stevens, and they're not going to get much. And that was a good presentation of gang tackling by the Vikings.
Yeah, it was. And, like we said, Tom Try told us that they've done a really good job on that defensive line, holding really their specialty is stopping the rush.
Big Seth Roberts, Dylan Hutchinson up there on the defensive line. 2nd and 10 from their own 20. Zimmerman. First pass, Isaiah bobbles, but he brings it down. Did he, though?
Well, he was definitely, I think it's going to be an incomplete pass because it was bobbling, and then when he hit the ground, it looked like it squirted out of there. So
there's a conversation.
Lake Stevens, yeah, I think it goes as an incomplete pass.
Well, they're spotting it as a catch, Tim.
Interesting. No, now they're saying no. From here, it looked like it was incomplete.
Now the official timeout.
But I'm never one to second guess the refs.
Never.
Yep, they're putting it back to the line of scrimmage.
9:16 left in the first quarter. Boy, the stadium's shaking.
I'm not sure it's going to hold. It's a tremor.
So 3rd and 10. Or maybe 3rd and 8 they're giving it over to Jerome. He's got a blocker, but nowhere to go. And he stretches across the 25.
What a gutsy, they had him about 3 or 4 yards back, and he just keeps his legs moving, stretches out, and gets another 2 or 3 yards. Either way, it's not enough. They're going to have to punt.
Number 7, Austin Calvin. He's got 63 tackles, and he's just a junior, 5'10", 205. He is a big leader on that defense. 4th and 5, and Zimmerman does the punting duties as well, and now Lake Stevens will send somebody back.
Oh, there's a flag on the play.
It's Ekstrom to receive. He'll let it bounce inside the 29-yard line.
We'll see what typically that's some type of motion. Oh, they're saying personal foul on Lake Stevens. Oh, my. That's going to give them the ball back.
It will.
Holy. That's a brutal penalty because they had him stopped. And
a huge stop.
They had a huge stop, and now they're going to give him 15 and breathe new life into him.
Big momentum there.
Didn't see what the personal foul was, but these two teams have been at each other since before the kickoff.
So they mark it off. The Bearcats get a new life here in the first quarter with 8:28 left. If you're just joining us, Lake Stevens, there's the personal foul.
The fans aren't liking it.
They are not.
They're crying foul.
They are. It was the Blake May show in the first series, a 45-yard touchdown run for Lake Stevens, 7-0, 8:28. But here come the Bearcats with new life now at their own 47. Zimmerman to pass, and it's caught by Boo Boo. And he's up on the near side here to the 47 or 48-yard line.
He gets about 5 on that. Maybe
Kainalu,
6.
yeah, number 3, the junior Kainalu. Butongabukal is his name, and they call him Boo Boo, Tim.
I like it. With a name like Boo Boo, you got to be tough.
He is tough. 2nd and 4 in this opening drive. J.J. Jerome has to make a cut. He's got nowhere to go.
And I think he lost about 7 yards on that, Scott. So the defensive line of Lake Stevens is not given an inch right there.
And that was Austin Calvin again leading the charge along with Seth Roberts.
Now that with the problem that Monroe has is they're probably not used to seeing this type of opponent. So we're going to have to see how they respond.
They had a big win over Mount Si out of conference on the road. Zimmerman back to pass, 3rd down. Now Zimmerman, this is what he can do. He lets it go. It's caught. We'll see if he's inbound. No, boo-boo.
They say no. Now, I'll tell you what, Scott, if you saw, that was some great scrambling. To me, it looked like he caught it from here. I don't know what you saw. It looked like he caught it.
He did caught it. He
and
caught
he was sliding out of bounds.
Yes, I think his feet were out of bounds, and that's why the referee or the official was right there.
Well, sometimes they're right there and they still miss it, but we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
I'm not going to challenge you on that. They do the best they can. 7:01 first quarter here. Scott Ohsman, Tim Boyle, Ron Henthorn on STSPN. The Monroe Bearcats already punted, but there was a personal foul, gave them new life, 1st down, and here they're going to go for it.
No, they're punting.
No, they are 4th and 7. And Zimmerman gets a beauty.
He drilled that thing. Oh, and
what a punt. Is he going to get pinned? No.
Oh, and it was close.
Rasmussen was back there, number 6, Jake, and that was a heck of a punt.
They were lucky that's going back to the 20 because that almost ended up on about the 1-yard line.
So if you're Lake Stevens, though, defensively, you did exactly what you wanted to do coming in.
Yep. Now where Monroe's going to be in trouble if Lake Stevens goes down and punches it down their throat here. They're going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Both 8-0, playing for the 4A championship. Connor Bardou, there's motion there by Ekstrom. He fakes it, he gets it to May. Mr. May, and he gets another Vikings 1st down, and he looks to the crowd.
And it's a little bit, they kind of tricked him at the line of scrimmage there, and it's the Blake May show right now. That was a gain of 15, 16.
Another 1st down, 1st and 10, now at the Lake Stevens 37-yard line. It's been all Blake May, the senior. Ekstrom, 1st time getting the ball on the far side, tries to shake one. Now he has speed.
Picks up a great block.
Huge block down the edge, makes a cut. Ekstrom with the hammy touchdown. Vikings, and the Monroe Bearcats have no clue what's going on.
And the crowd over on the other side of the field is inside. You can hear a pin drop on that side of the field. Boy, and Ekstrom did not look hurt to me.
No.
I think that was playing possum there. He looked like he was 100%. And there was I didn't catch the number, but there was a phenomenal block that made that play happen up here.
Take a look, maybe another look at that. A spectacular run. First one 45 yards by Blake May. This one much longer. There's the kick by Widman. And Brock puts it through one more time. And 6:18 left. Still plenty of time in the first quarter here, but
For Lake Stevens,
yes,
it's a track meet.
The Lake Stevens Vikings have jumped all over the Bearcats. We'll see if they can respond after this STSPN.
VideoFide creates the ultimate outdoor protection system on batteries. The OMV is a totally wireless detector camera that can be installed anywhere without wires or power cables. When the motion sensor detects an intruder, the OMV sends video alerts of what caused the alarm to a central station for immediate review and dispatch. VideoFide delivers faster police response and protects remote assets by helping law enforcement catch the bad guy.
Lake Stevens, it's home cooking so far. Blake May from 45 yards out, and then it was Hunter Ekstrom 62-yard run, and Lake Stevens up early here, 6:18 left, 14-0. The kickoff, and it's taken at the 12 by Cole. Isaiah waiting for his blockers, finds a little seam, and he steps out of bounds at the 29-yard lines. If you're head coach Michael Bumpus, you've run into a buzzsaw so far.
Yeah, right now they're in a little bit of trouble. And we talked about this earlier, that if a team gets up, I think Lake Stevens is more likely to stay in their game plan because they wouldn't really change anything if they were up or down. Monroe would have to do a little more passing, and it will change up their game plan a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Challenge here for Zach Zimmerman and the boys. 1st and 10 at their own 29. Zimmerman finds Boo Boo across the 35, bounces off tackler, still on his feet now. Gets a couple more out of that, and they'll mark him down at the 36.
That's what they need is they'd be happy with just keep quick 5-yard plays, no problem.
See the instant replay here on STSPN. 5:44 left to go in the first quarter. 2nd and 4. Jerome plows through Vikings, and he'll get a Bearcat first down.
The first one of the night for the Bearcats, and they need to keep doing that. Good run by Jerome, kind of right down the gut.
Over 1,600 yards coming into tonight on 134 carries, 21 touchdowns, averages 12.3 yards. He is an absolute rock star and swings it out, and this is Jerome one more time.
A good effort by him to pick up another 3 or 4 yards after contact. And J.J. Jerome, with all the athletes on this field, he's in the top 2 or 3 best athletes on the field right now. For sure going to be seeing him on Saturdays.
No doubt.
Without a doubt. He's got some offers already. Looking at the military academy, though.
I like that Army out there in West Point. Anthony Hutchinson for Lake Stevens on the tackle. Here's a bobbled ball. It's down, and Lake Stevens has it. Not sure if Zimmerman lost it.
I think it was a broken play. I think he meant to hand it off, and something went wrong.
We'll take a look at it. Yeah, Zimmerman just dropped it, Tim.
Exactly. And that's exactly what they didn't need after getting a little momentum there.
A rocky start here for the Monroe Bearcats. They hand it right back over to
Now the
Lake
problem
Stevens.
is you don't want Monroe to just completely lose their confidence and start getting you saw what happened to Glacier Peak when they were playing Monroe. Hung with them for just the first part of it, and then it just kind of went south, and that's what can happen when you start getting down. Lake Stevens scores here, and they're going to be in a world of hurt.
The Bearcats have only fumbled 4 times in 8 games. This one pitched to Blake May. This time they're all over him, and the Bearcat defense comes up big, led by Cody Schwint, the big senior.
I'm not sure where they're going to mark it. He could have lost 3 or 15 on that, depending on how they mark it.
Always
loss of 7 is what they're saying.
And that time, the big Bearcat line got some pressure and they got through.
They got who made the tackle on that?
That's 72, Cody Schwint,
Oh,
6'3", 183-pound senior. You also have Josh Jerome, the brother of JJ. He leads the team in sacks, 6.5, and you have Mason Mish, 50, with 41 tackles coming into tonight. So 2nd and 17 now for Connor Bardou. Hutchinson in motion. Bardou's going to go long. He's going deep.
Oh.
Incomplete. He was
actually had the receiver there. Now, when you see him drop back, you got to remember he's going to complete about 75% of those passes. So didn't get that one though.
And he was going for Trey Long, the sophomore.
And he wasn't one of our guys that we had circled. So
doesn't have a lot of catches tonight. He's been playing a lot more on defense. So they went for a big one there. Now sits at 3rd and 17, right at the mid-stripe. 3:50 to go in the first quarter. Bardou. Time, all kinds of time. Now he runs up the gut and he meets white jerseys.
Oh, and they're just roughing him up on the pile too. I think he got back to the line of scrimmage, but I think they were hoping to get about 10 yards out of that so they could make it. It probably would have been 4-down territory, but not here.
Connor Bardou, not many rushes coming into tonight. Doesn't have to.
Nope, not with the players he's got. Now this was a huge stop for Monroe because they needed to stop the bleeding, and if Lake Stevens would have scored there, it probably would have got out of hand quickly. Big stop for Monroe.
Michael Wilkins, the punter for Lake Stevens, will do the duties and gives Monroe a chance here with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. And fair catch is called by Isaiah Cole, and he catches it right around the 22 or 3 yard line, and that's where Zach Zimmerman, they'll try to figure out the puzzle. They haven't been able to so far.
And although the score is 14-0, Monroe's that probably leads in time of possession.
Probably do. Trying to weather the storm. We talked to head coach Michael Bumpus, talked about how big that Mount Si win, even though Mount Si technically might not be their strongest team this year, but going on the road for Monroe and getting a win against a Mount Si, that's what he likes. They understand how to weather storms.
Yeah, exactly. Like he said, they would have normally lost that game in years past.
1st and 10 from their own 23. Zimmerman now looks up. He's got JJ to his left. And Isaiah Lewis is the near side receiver. See if they can get him involved. Trips to the right. JJ looking for something. He'll stretch forward for a few.
JJ not having his normal 12 yards a carry game. But if they just keep doing what they're doing, he will find some holes tonight.
Usually does. Zach Kalani on the tackle, number 52. The 6'1 senior coming with 38 tackles, and here's Zimmerman one more time. Second, now he wants to go, but there's nowhere to go, and he'll go down with a sack.
Boy, they had him. They just had that pocket collapse, and there was nowhere for him to go. Zimmerman normally a really good runner too, but nowhere to go there.
Sets up a 3rd down and 8. They'll mark it at the 25-yard line. Just under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Monroe's offense having trouble getting things going here in the early going. Zimmerman back to pass. Now he's getting rushed. Has to gets it to Isaiah Cole, and he is absolutely taken care of.
I don't think that was the play they were hoping to get there, because he actually went backwards. It's going to bring up another 4th and long.
Hutchinson there also with Michael Wilkins for the Lake Stevens Vikings, and I tell you what, they are causing all kinds of trouble there for Zimmerman.
Yeah, Zimmerman normally very comfortable back there, not tonight.
And he'll go back to punt one more time. He had a beauty just into the end zone earlier. This one pretty good, and
that one's out of bounds. Looks like it might go at about the 40 or so. Yeah, right at the 40.
Jake Rasmussen again to receive there, and it's the Vikings one more time. So just when you thought the Bearcat defense had some momentum, they had their first stop of Lake Stevens, but the offense for the Monroe Bearcats not able to make anything of it.
No, they need to get some first downs. Even if they don't score, they've got to get some first downs.
See if the Bearcat defense can come up big one more time. Bardu hands it right up the middle across the 45.
Is that Blake May?
That is Blake May, already with a 45-yard touchdown.
Gets about 6 on that one.
Mish on the stop. Let's call it 2nd down and 4 yards to go. Just under 40 seconds to go in the first quarter here. Glad you're with us. Beautiful fall October evening here, and the fans are out with a vengeance. May, nice move, steps over a tackle, and he'll get a Lake Stevens first down.
Yep, picks up the first down and then some. And again, they had a couple shots to get him right about the line of scrimmage, and he's not easy to bring down.
You see it takes a few Bearcats. But talk about the crowds. They're still lined up from what we're told.
Yeah, I went back and looked out the window, and it's like Star Wars 1977. It's lined up around the corner.
Bardu going deep.
Oh,
and he overthrows Hutchinson.
He had him, and if he would have had that anywhere on the mark, that would have been 6 points. And Bardu takes a little bit of a beating on that play. Gets hit after the release. But yeah, he'd like to have that one back.
Lake Stevens going for their 4th consecutive 4A WESCO championship, and they went deep into the Tacoma Dome last year with big Jacob Eason now starting for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, they were undefeated the whole year until that, in the semifinal loss.
2nd and 10. And May one more time, and he'll get a yard or 2.
Defense closed up on him that time.
And you saw J.J. Jerome in the tackle there, number 2.
We're seeing him everywhere.
And that'll do it for the first quarter. 14-0 Lake Stevens, the home team. Maybe we'll get some time to get some crowds into the building, see if we can set a record.
I don't know where they're going to put them, though. That's the thing. I mean, there's nowhere to put these guys.
We'll be back with the second quarter right after this. Streaming live from Lake Stevens High School here, Scott Ohsman, Tim Boyle, and Ron Henthorn. And
where is the wedge?
Where is Ron the Wedge Henthorn? He's making his way somewhere down there. We'll try and go to Ron and see if he's got anything to add here from his perspective on the field.
He's kind of a celebrity. He's always got people talking. He's more famous than you and I are. That's
not even close. Everywhere we go, everyone's like, "Where's the wedge?"
Yeah.
Oops. Can you
get
me
static there?
Autograph, typically. 3rd and 8. Bardu going deep, double covered. I don't even think they know we're there. They knocked it down. I don't think
he didn't see
the ball. Yeah.
They're lucky that didn't get intercepted because it easily could have. Now they might play a little field position game here.
So 4th and 8 for the Vikings. And the last couple series, the Bearcats have done a good job on defense.
And they need to. They don't want to be down 21-0, that's for sure.
They're going to go for it.
Are they going? I think they're going to punt.
Bardu.
Nope.
Now he's rolling. Delivers, and it's caught by Rasmussen.
Wow.
And
that is a big first down right there. Just when you thought Monroe held them, had it 4th and 7.
24 catches for 550 yards for the big senior Jake Rasmussen. And right now, Monroe defense trying to stop this powerful offense for Lake Stevens. 1st and 10 now at the Bearcat 32. Ekstrom in motion. Bardou going deep for Ekstrom. He catches it. No, he doesn't.
Boy, Bardou is not afraid to go deep.
No, he's not. Never met a deep ball he didn't like.
Exactly. Reminds me a little bit of Russ Bowers or Bowers and Boffel. He would go deep on every single play, it seemed like.
Skyler.
By the way, he almost got in the game. Isn't he backing up for Cal right now?
Yeah.
And they mentioned his name because the starter got a little banged up, and they mentioned that he might have to come in.
He was fighting for the starting job at the beginning of the season. See if there's a penalty here.
Looks like there is.
11-18, just the start of the second quarter here. 14-0 Vikings.
False start. Vikings, 5-yard penalty.
We typically have our head referee mic'd up, but Mr. Jensen chose not to do that.
He rejected us.
He did. We got the Heisman.
We're going to call it 1st and 15.
Ball on the Bearcat 32-yard line. Things have settled down a little bit here. Stadium not shaking at the moment. We're on the Lake Stevens side, and Bardou gets it to May. Not much there for Blake May.
Gets about 3 or 4 of those yards back.
J.J. Jerome coming up from the linebacking position, along with Ricky Baker there.
Kind of a quick first quarter.
Very quick. And they're going to need more from J.J. Jerome on the defensive side. Also their number 54, Ricky Baker, 40 tackles coming into tonight.
How much can they ask of the poor guy, though?
Well, he does it all. 2nd and 11. May in motion. Now they'll pause, look over for instructions. Bardou rolling. Wide open Ekstrom, and Bardou just put a little too much on it.
Bardou's been overthrowing a little bit, about 4 or 5 balls. Normally he's got a 75% completion rate. He's overthrowing a little bit tonight, so he's going to have to get those jitters out.
Connor, just a junior.
Well, that's scary in itself that he's going to be terrorizing the league next year.
Tom Try saying he actually, not comparing him to Jacob Eason in any way, but saying he actually understands reading defenses and coverages, and even at some point at this stage better than Jacob did. I'm sure that's debatable. Here's Bardou back. He's got pressure, unloads, going for Rasmussen. Caught, touchdown, Jake Rasmussen.
And he put that right in the breadbasket. I said he was overthrowing a little bit, and he put that right where it needed to be. Perfect route, perfect pass.
33-yard connection and strike. Jake Rasmussen, they pick up where they left off last week. They had 5 passing touchdowns for Rasmussen last week. As you take one more look at it.
And watch it just landed that in the perfect spot. The problem is even perfect coverage doesn't beat a perfect pass.
And the extra point is up and good for Widman. 21-0. You just never know. Plenty of time. Stay with us on STSPN.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601
or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Well, Tom Try, when we talked to him on the field right before kickoff, Tim Boyle, he talked about his defense.
Yeah, and well, if you missed it the first time, he said their starting defense hasn't given up a rushing touchdown all year. So that's that kind of is the perfect matchup for Lake Stevens against Monroe.
One of their big keys to tonight was holding J.J. Jerome and not mitigating that big play. And so far, we're 10-19 left to go in the first half. They've done that.
Absolutely, and Tom Try even said, "Hey, Jerome's going to get his yards. He knows he's going to get it, but he doesn't want him to keep breaking for 60-yard runs."
See who picks this up, and it's going to be Isaiah Cole. Isaiah, nothing doing, and a great open field tackle that time for the Vikings, and that's big number Dalton Youngblood, the 6'1" junior.
And these teams appeared so evenly matched when you look at all the stats, and sometimes they can be perfectly even matched and just things go haywire. We've seen that happen with Glacier Peak over the years, where you think they might win a game and they just lose badly. Like against Monroe, people thought they might match up halfway decent against them, and they just didn't.
JJ trying to get something going. Not much, though, on the outside.
That defensive line is just frugal as can be.
Give him
maybe
2 yards.
2 yards.
2nd and 8, 9:50 left to go in the first half, 21-0. First 2 touchdowns for the Vikings were on the ground. The last one, a 33-yard strike to Jake Rasmussen. 2nd and 8 from their own 27. Zach Zimmerman looking over, finds a wide open Cole, broken up by Ekstrom, and that was dangerous.
And Ekstrom did a good job kind of getting in there and slapping that ball. And again, he's not looking injured from here.
Tom tried telling us before the game that Ekstrom had a little hamstring issue he suffered in that Cascade win. Tim not taking it, though. That's tomfoolery to you, Mr. Boyle.
He told us he was on like crutches and had a broken leg.
No, he didn't. Now you're just trying to get us in trouble.
That's where we like to be.
Well, that's true. 3rd and 8. Zach Zimmerman looking for something for Monroe. This he goes deep, and this one's going to be out of bounds. Trying to go to Isaiah Cole. Good coverage.
Good coverage. Ball a little overthrown. We saw a lot of Isaiah Cole. We got like sick of him when we were broadcasting that game. He was everywhere.
And Austin Murren, they put him on Cole, number 12 for Lake Stevens. He's got 4 INTs coming into tonight, leads the team in interceptions. Zach Zimmerman with 7 coming into tonight.
4th down again for Monroe.
8, and 27, they're forced to punt another time. Boy, Zach punting more than usual. It's taken right at the 38-yard line. Rasmussen spinning, and finally Schwim says, "I'll have nothing of it."
And when he was down, there's about four Monroe guys that just dove on the pile. I don't think they like each other. I'm just an observation, though.
Eli Tofila there, number 74. Good sportsmanship there by Rasmussen.
Well, Monroe desperately needs a stop here.
Can't say it enough, and maybe even a turnover, something. Monroe's had the only turnover. It was a fumble in the first quarter. 9:09 left to go in this first half. Bardou hands it off right up the gut, and there goes Mr. May. He is doing whatever he wants tonight.
And about 5 yards in, he made a great cut to pick up that extra 5 yards. And I'll tell you what, we talked about this in our pregame. Monroe's defense might get one of these defense. We thought whoever had the most stamina was going to come out of it, and Monroe's going to end up getting tired here.
Boy, they're like the Seahawks. They have been on the field a lot. This one snapped Wildcat right to May. They sniff it out. And Baker with the tackle for Monroe.
At this point, if you're Lake Stevens, you'd rather just see a kind of a long, strung-out drive. It'd be better if they didn't score real quick here.
Already seeing hands on the hip here by the Bearcats. That's not a good sign if you're a Monroe fan.
Well, and again, this isn't been their game plan. They're not used to being on the field like this over and over.
2nd and 7. May again. Schwim can't hang on, but finally he's taken down. Nice tackle there.
No gain.
By the Bearcats.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 7. They're saying that can't be 3rd and 7.
Skylar Barr,
Maybe it is, yeah.
the sophomore Skylar Barr there on the tackle, 81, getting some big playing time tonight. 7:54 left. Blake May, 11 carries, 93 yards. So 3rd and 7. Bardu, kind of a wobbler, and it's caught by Rasmussen. What a catch.
He's going to be just short of the first down. That was a one-handed spectacular catch. My guess is they're going for it there. It's 4-down territory. It's going to be 4th and 1, it looks like.
Great catch by Rasmussen, adding to his unbelievable totals up to this point. Already has a touchdown tonight on a 33-yard catch. They're safe 4th and 1.
Oh,
and the
jumps
Bearcats.
offside. There's the first down for you right
And
there.
Josh Felder,
Man.
the senior, is the one they're going to catch for that. And he leads the Bearcats in tackles with 69 coming tonight. He's got 41 solos and 12 for loss. So
That's exactly what you didn't want to do there. You needed a stop. You didn't want to just hand it to him.
clock ticking, just under 7 minutes to go. 21-0. Lake Stevens jumping all over Monroe. Bearcats at this point, they're just trying to hang on as Blake May shifts to the right of Bardu. Bardu, quick throw, right side to Hutchinson. Hutchinson, another Vikings first down inside the 20 to the 15.
And they're picking them apart, and I think that was it, Jerome on the tackle there. It looked like he actually might split those defenders and get through, but good job on Jerome to actually stop him. Would have been 6 points.
Well, defensive coordinator Joey Hammer for Monroe, he's got all he can handle as far as adjustments here at halftime. See if they can keep him out of the end zone. 1st and 10 at the 15. They get it to May.
Boy, I got to tell you, it just looks like Lake Stevens didn't miss a beat from last year. You know, they graduate one of the best quarterbacks in the United States, and then Connor Bardu takes over and puts up these video game type numbers. It's just ridiculous.
And it looks right now that in the trenches, Tim, which we talked about, Lake Stevens is winning that battle handily so far.
Oh, especially on the defensive line for Lake Stevens, just not giving up any type of big plays.
2nd and 8, May. And May still on his feet and gets inside the 5.
And I think he's going to be right around the first down marker. Boy, and he just got a push. He just doesn't go down. Looks like there's going to be they're going to call somebody's calling a timeout, or they're calling a timeout for a measurement.
Might be a measurement. They have equipment there. But Blake May, they have him listed at 5'10", 180.
He's not running like that, I can tell you that. Blake May, I think he's probably over 100 yards right now. He's real close.
93 here, 11 carries. He's already got more. So now the Vikings threatening again. 1st and goal. Bardu gets it to Ekstrom, and he's taken down. Nice tackle there at the 2-yard line. Again, that's the sophomore from Monroe getting some great time here, Skylar Barr.
Boy, and that's they're got it about the 2-yard line there, and Monroe's going to be in a world of hurt here if they punch it in.
You ask, and we tell you 103 yards now for Blake May. Thank you to Aaron Lammers. Answered the call for the stats. 2nd and goal from the 2. Bardou gets it to May, and May's bottled up, and he might lose one.
I think he probably did, and nobody fooled on that play. And Monroe's desperate for a stop here.
Big Josh Jerome, the other Jerome, along with Cody Schwint.
They give up a touchdown here, and it's realistically at 28-0 on Lake Stevens. It's probably game over.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean,
that's not good for ratings. 3rd goal here from the 2. Bardou, he's going to roll, looking, touchdown, Rasmussen. And Isaiah Cole couldn't quite get in front of that one. Rasmussen with his 2nd tonight from 2 yards out.
And nobody expected this. That's going to 27-0 still in the first half. They could keep doing a little bit more of this. We're going to have a running clock in the second half.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
No, nobody could.
Well, Rasmussen had 5 TD catches last week. He's got 2 now. 12 on the year. Widman on for the extra point. It is up and it is good with Bardou holding. And with 4:15 left, it is all purple and gold tonight, 28-0.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Speedway Chevrolet, Lee Johnson and Speedway Chevrolet. I know you had great service there, Tim, over the years.
They did me a solid. I had to get my, something was wrong with my fuel pump, and I paid like $600, and then there was a recall. They gave me a check back for the full refund. So
$600?
Yeah, no kidding. That's real dough right there.
That's dollar bills, y'all.
So yeah, they did me a solid.
Want to thank Chevrolet, Speedway Chevrolet, and Lee Johnson coming on board here to bring you STSPN's presentation of this WESCO 4A championship that has kind of everybody here in the press box and in the crowd just stunned as the kickoff goes. Again, Isaiah Cole takes it from his 18, and he'll get up maybe to the 27 or 8 yard line, but the Bearcats just looking for any signs of life here.
Yeah, they obviously are going to be desperate to score here. I'm going to be using that term a lot because that's what they are right now.
All 3 timeouts left on both sides. Bardou, 7 for 11, 96 yards, 2 TDs. Just keeping it rolling.
Not taking their foot off the gas so far.
They'll put him at the 30. Zimmerman, J.J. Jerome, and that's the first more than a couple yard run for Jerome. He'll get up close to a first down, and they got to get him going.
Yeah, he's got to do a lot more of that, and that's about an 8 or 9 yarder for him. And on first down, that's exactly what they need.
2nd and a yard. Now they look over. No huddle offenses. Zimmerman again to Jerome. This time he tries to take outside. He likes his speed. But nowhere to go, and that's been the mantra all night long.
You know, forward progress, he's going to be close to he actually did get about a yard on that.
We'll see, Dylan.
Which is actually surprising because they look like they had him behind the line of scrimmage. It looks like he's going to be about a foot short.
Might have to, well,
it's almost a measurement there.
Yeah, Dylan Hutchinson.
They're saying 3rd and 1. He's about a foot short. I'd give it right back to him.
And he's had more success going up the middle Too much speed. He goes nice lane. He picks the other way, but he gets the first down. He loses the ball, but he's down.
Lost the ball right after his knee hit the ground. And what Monroe really needs here is some first downs. They got to keep that. They got to keep the Lake Stevens defense on the field a little bit here, and keep their defense off the field.
2:46 left to go in this first half. 28-0. Beautiful day. No moisture in the area. A great fall night for football, so that's not an issue here tonight. 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Fakes it to Jerome, goes over to Cole, Isaiah. And it's stripped away.
The ball.
Hutchinson just strips it right out.
Oh, and he was got away from him. He would have got a first down and then some, and the worst thing possible happened there. The ball gets stripped. I was just about to say, if Monroe can go down and score, then they're going to get the ball back in the second half. You know, they could actually make a game of it, but that's deadly right there.
The second Monroe turnover tonight. Zimmerman with a fumble in the first quarter and a devastating blow for the Bearcats.
Oh, and that's just a psychological blow as well. Now the problem is now you give Lake Stevens a couple minutes, and that's plenty of time for them to go down and score.
Try to go to Ron Henthorn and see if he can get a head coach as we head into halftime, perhaps. 2:18, and the Vikings back on offense one more time. Bardu fakes it to May. Now going deep.
Oh, it's a hold.
Rasmussen, and you saw it finally
Isaiah
as the flag.
Cole had his uniform and all. There's a couple flags. That's going to be, I'm not sure if they're going to call that defensive holding or pass interference, but either way, it's going to be one or the other.
Defensive grabbing, you saw it as just out of your screen there in the replay.
They are calling it pass interference. I think the ball was in the air. But it's probably a good play, because if he doesn't hold him like that, there's nobody behind him, and he's off to the races. And then it's 35-0. So actually a good penalty on his part, if there is such a thing.
Halftime, we'll talk to Aaron Lammers here, covering this game for the Seattle Times. He's been working the south end of Seattle, the SPSL, and some other games. We'll talk to him about that, and just overall, he was up north in the area here for the Herald. Here's Bardu faking. Now he's looking, and there's a miscommunication. He was going for Ekstrom.
Again, he's not afraid to throw.
No.
He's not shy when he comes to the deep ball.
And they're putting Skylar Barr out there on Ekstrom. That's a tough.
I'm not sure what happened on that. I'm not sure if they just had a miscommunication, but Ekstrom was supposed to go a little deep there and stayed home.
2nd and 10 at the Monroe 36. Some conversation. You see all the signs in the corner of your screen. That started years ago down in Eugene, I believe. And the Ducks start that?
I think so. They're worried about people stealing the play. Oh,
Rasmussen
what a move.
slips out of Cole's hands.
He's gone.
And Jake Rasmussen, 3 touchdowns. The hat trick for Jake.
I'm not sure I believe. Am I dreaming?
I don't know.
This is unreal. And right now, for Michael Bumpus and crew, he's just wishing they could. This halftime won't come soon enough.
What do you say?
I have no idea. Prayers?
And if you're not familiar with STSPN, when Tim Boyle is speechless, that's
it's not good.
That's not good, and it's something
it's not
that
good for
rarely
somebody.
happens. That's an antique. Widman on for the extra point. Widman, a sophomore, he's got no field goals coming into this game other than
doesn't look like he's
PATs.
going to get one tonight.
Yeah,
either.
why would he need one?
Yeah.
Boy, if you think with crooked numbers, 35-0 with 1:47 left in the first half.
Unreal.
Well, the Lake Stephen Vikings fans, they are happy, but Monroe fans are just shaking their head. They did not see this coming, anything like it. 35-0 with 1:47 left to go in the half.
And again, Monroe's the number 7 team in the state, and I actually thought they should have been ranked higher, but by the way they've been playing and the talent they've got, these two teams are really not this far apart.
The kickoff, and Isaiah Cole, who had the strip last time, take it past the 20 up to the 23. Still an opportunity for Monroe to get something to feel a little bit decent about. I wouldn't even say good, but if they can get a drive and get a score, at least they go into halftime with something.
Yeah, absolutely. Then they get the ball right back at halftime, so they could theoretically try to get back into this game. But they're gonna have to put something up here.
Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show coming up, and we'll talk about what this means for the second place team. As Zach Zimmerman back to pass, rolling to the near side, now has trouble, reverses field, tucks it, and just falls forward amongst many purple and gold jerseys.
Boy, and he had to work awfully hard for that loss of 5 yards.
Mind you, he came in with 386 yards on 43 carries, and more importantly, averages 9 yards a carry.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. 2nd and 12. It's complete to Isaiah Cole, and he slips down.
That cost him a few yards on the slip there.
Good coverage there by Murrin, Austin Murrin, right there on him. And we have not called Isaiah Lewis's number at all, the junior.
Where is he?
Number 31.
Not in the game so far.
There's a timeout by Monroe. We'll take one, and we'll be right back with the end of the first half.
That was beautiful. Victory, yeah, it's great.
First half, an absolute rout here for the Vikings. Monroe with 55.6 seconds left. Looking at 3rd and 7. Zimmerman. They set up a screen to Jerome. JJ gets the first down, and now JJ's showing some will.
He ends up getting about another 15 yards after he was made contact. Does not go down easy.
Stops the clock with 43.9, right at the 48-yard line. Zimmerman back to the air. Almost tipped and almost picked. And I tell you, Anthony Hutchinson saw
the route.
6.
He jumped the route, and it was perfect timing. And just sometimes your eyes just get a little too big when you see that end zone wide open. But he definitely jumped the route and timed it perfectly.
He's going for Sir, the junior, Jason.
And that would have been that would have been painful.
Oh, a dagger beyond daggers. 2nd and 10, 35.7 seconds left in the first half. Zimmerman just nowhere to go, and finally just is taken down. They'll finally blow the whistle. Zimmerman, the coverage is outstanding, and by the time he has any whereabout, it's over.
Yeah, you call those a coverage sack, really, because he just has nowhere to go. He definitely doesn't have the time he had against Glacier Peak when we saw him. When we saw him, he seemed to get out of everything.
Coach Bumpus takes another timeout. We'll step away. 26.5 left to go in the first half.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Third and very long, 20. Zimmerman goes over the middle. It's caught by Isaiah Cole. He's got a Monroe first down. Well, he did. Now he might still. He's still on his feet, and he falls back before the stick.
I think they're going to give him forward progress, though. He's going to get the first down, which is actually important because it'll stop the clock for a couple seconds here. And they've only got 15 seconds left to get that ball in the end zone.
And they still, I think, have 1 timeout. That's not what the board says. Here's Zimmerman, fakes it to Jerome. Now has to run for his life. Fakes it, gets out of bounds in the far side.
But he blows about 12 seconds on that play, so that brings him down to, they're saying 3.9 seconds. So really all he's got 1 play to dump it in the end zone. A little bit of a Hail Mary here.
Stevens comes back. Tristan Keith on that tackle. Talk about that young man, the senior coming in tonight. 57 tackles and an interception. So this defense showing their prowess right now, and the Lake Stevens fans getting behind him with 3.9 seconds left to go. Zimmerman launches from deep range. It's a Hail Mary, and it incomplete. Falls to the ground, going for Coles.
And that will do it for the first half, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not, you're not hearing us incorrectly. It's 35-0 Lake Stevens over Monroe.
We'll be back with the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show. We'll look for some scores, update you some very interesting matchups determining Kansas City 3-way tiebreakers, all kinds of stuff coming up more at halftime. But right now, it's all Vikings 35-0.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome to our halftime induction ceremony sponsored by the Crippled Gold Club and Lake Stevens High School. We are very honored tonight to induct 3 new members into the Lake Stevens High School Hall of Fame. Here is the order of the following 3 honorees. Wade is first. Marilyn Moore will be first. Marilyn, where are you? Oh, there you are. Ryan Bundy will be second. Hey, Ryan. Next up is Ryan Bundy. Before Ryan was drafted in the 4th round by the Toronto Blue Jays and before playing professional baseball for 3 years, Ryan, class of 1995, created new standards for athletic and academic excellence at Lake Stevens High School. He is among the most highly celebrated football and baseball athletes in our school's history. In football, Ryan was an all-area linebacker, WESCO Defensive Player of the Year, and after leading the league in scoring, was the league MVP. His team voted him the most inspirational, and the Seattle Times named him to the All-State team as a linebacker. As a sophomore and a junior baseball player, he was team MVP of Mr. Baseball. As a junior, first team WESCO and second team All-Area catcher. And as a senior, Ryan was the All-WESCO, All-Area, and All-State. In addition, Ryan was a Seattle Times Star Times catcher. Graduating from Lake Stevens with a 3.9 GPA, Ryan earned a baseball scholarship to the University of Washington, where he started at catcher, led the team in hitting as a freshman, and was selected to the All-Regional team in 1998. He earned the Golden Glove Award for the UW's top defensive player, was named the 2nd best defensive player in the United States, and helped UW Huskies win the Pac-12 championship in 1997 and 1998. After that, after Toronto, Ryan's outstanding performance and his devotion to excellence as a multi-sport athlete exemplify the most laudable of Vikings. Congratulations, Ryan.
Lorraine Williams began a parapathetic life journey before she left the path led her to working photography, to fine art printmaking, to creative artistry, to international renown. Lorraine Williams' Alequios portrays life unfolding. Since 1999, her artistic vision, sensitivity, and fluidity as a portrait artist have made her a highly sought after photographer. Published, collected worldwide, her work can be found in her portrait and fine art studios and galleries in Woodinville, Washington, and in Roslyn, Seattle, Washington. An international speaker and educator who holds workshops and clinics in her studios abroad, where her enthusiasm for making memories in the moment and creating relationships and imagery will long endure. Life is personal. I believe in passion and inspiration as a way of living, she says. Vikings have many reasons to appreciate the stellar achievement and visionary talent of Corinne Williams. Congratulations, Corinne. And Carolee and Ryan. A Viking applause is due.
All right, let's have a big hand for all of our inductees. Congratulations to all. Particular thanks to the Purple Bowl Club. You can buy Lake Stevens Viking wear from the Purple Bowl Club booth underneath the stadium. And the Purple Bowl Club is always looking for donations to help us support the great activities, the great work, the great students at Lake Stevens High School. Thanks again.
Back here at halftime, the Lake Stevens Vikings just putting it on all over the Monroe Bearcats, 35-0. Joined now here as we're getting ready for the second half. Aaron Lammers covering tonight for the Seattle Times. You were in this area up north here for many years, Aaron. What's your thoughts? Did you also shocked? Shock and awe here?
Shocked. I didn't see this one coming at all. In fact, I actually would have picked Monroe to win this game. I did pick Monroe to win this game. So, yeah, I'm a little surprised. But hats off to Lake Stevens. I mean, you know, going into the season, I knew they were going to be good. They're always good, right? Tom Try gets his team ready to play. But, you know, they had 3 returning offensive starters and 3 returning defensive starters. They're 8-0, and they're up 35-0 over Monroe at halftime. It's pretty unbelievable. I mean, this team looks loaded again. They look like they can make a run deep into the playoffs again. Connor Bardew, I mean, following up the best quarterback in the country. All he's done coming into this game is throw for 34 touchdowns and 4 picks all season. Arguably better numbers than Easton had last year. I mean, this team's pretty incredible what they're doing right now.
And playoff implications here, the NPSL Olympic division, which you've covered a couple of those games, the Cascade now, almost kind of a new situation down there. Talk about your compare-contrast from WESCO for many years and then just getting a brief look at some of those teams.
There is a difference. There's a big difference that I've noticed. Just styles of play is very different up here. You know, most of the teams have gone to the spread. I mean, if you look in the WESCO, obviously these 2 teams tonight run the spread offense. Glacier Peak runs the spread. Jackson runs the spread. You know, there's a lot of teams up here that run the spread. Down there, it's a lot of running the ball. A lot of that old school, you know, wing T or I formation. It's a little bit of a different game, and quite honestly, I mean, I don't know if my ties up here are strong, but I got to say these teams up here so far, what I've seen, are still a lot stronger than the teams I've seen down there in the Tacoma area. Overall. Yeah.
Now there is a wager that's going to get settled after the first.
I think it's settled.
The first night we did the Bothell Glacier Peak game after hours, there was a wager by yourself and Mr. Tim Boyle here.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about that, or?
I mean,
Tim doesn't have a mic right now. Isn't this awesome?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the bet's over. Like that's
Tim bet you that Lake Stevens would win this game.
He won. You said they'd win the league title, right?
League title, and then also this game.
Goes along with
you had to ante up. Yeah, he threw on another bet. Monroe wouldn't lose a game. the predictometer not working too well for Aaron Lammers. But that's okay.
No, I mean, I got close. If things would be, if it was 35-0 Monroe right now, I'd be winning the bet.
That's true. Well, big thank you to Aaron Lammers as we're getting ready here. We'll go over some statistics and helping us out with statistics tonight. Easy for me to say, but glad to see you. Glad to have you up north. Do you remember how to drive north?
I do, yeah.
Okay, good.
I still got it.
Good. Covering for the Seattle Times. You can see his work all over. You can cover you on or check you on Twitter at
Aaron Lammers. It's still very simple.
AARONLOMMERS.
Indeed.
All right, thanks, Aaron. We'll be back with more of the Action Jackson Plumbing Halftime Show right after this.
Lammers for jumping on.
Yeah, big thanks to Aaron Lammers there.
Even though he owes me 2 Coors Lights after tonight.
He does.
But I'm not bringing that up.
No.
I'm not going to bring it up.
We purposely didn't get your mic on for that.
I
Why
know,
don't
you
run
guys
through
wouldn't let me mic up.
The gaudy halftime stats there, Mr. Boyle, for Lake Stevens. Not much on the Monroe side.
It's ridiculous. So Connor Bardew, 8 for 13, 130 yards. Not a lot of yards, but he's got 3 TDs. We got Blake May, 13 carries, 103 yards and a TD. Ekstrom, one carry, 63 yards and a TD.
Unbelievable. As the Bearcats will receive, that's Isaiah Cole again. It's knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line. The Bearcats won the coin toss. They deferred, as you just saw, as they got it. Boy, I don't know if that would have changed anything, but all they've seen is purple.
Yeah, in fact, Lammers just gave us a stat. Monroe had 4 first downs in the whole half. They are not used to that at all.
Zach Zimmerman to his right, J.J. Jerome, who has been held in check. Kenalu to the right, and then give it to Boo Boo. Boo Boo makes something happen there. Crosses the 30. Nice pickup.
About 8 yards.
For Monroe.
They're going to need a lot of that. The problem that Monroe's going to have is one more score by Lake Stevens, and we're going to have running clock. And then the game's going to go really fast.
Yes, it will. The line's out the door and traffic finally calming down. 2nd and 3 for Zach Zimmerman. Gets it again. Now he keeps it. He gets it to Jerome. And a nice deception play there, Tim, as he gets a Bearcat first down. They faked me out. Fooled. And I got binoculars.
I still don't know who has the ball.
11:06 left to go in the start of the second half.
Is there a World Series game tonight?
There is.
Did you hear what those tickets are going for?
$3,000
a piece on average. There's the wedge.
Let's go down as they get rid of this play. Let's go down to Ron the Wedge Henthorn. Ron, what's going on down there?
Well, there's a lot of excitement down here today, Scott. As you can tell from the score, the Vikings are just on top of everything. These kids are still fired up. I think they want to double that score the second half. So let's see what's going to happen when we do that.
Thank you, Ron. We'll have our Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Game. Also get maybe a few comments from a coach. And he did talk to Michael Bumpus as we were going into halftime. And Tim,
Michael Bumpus said thought they were okay.
So we're all right. So there must have been a holding call, and there was, as Zimmerman now thinking about passing, and now he just runs out of bounds. Playing a little cat and mouse there with the Vikings defenders, but it's going to set up another 3rd and 10. They had a good run there.
Zimmerman, you know what's amazing about him is he's very comfortable running around the pocket. You know, even with these, although Lake Stevens has been getting to him, but even with these guys putting all this pressure on him. He just is very comfortable.
You know, Scott, I can't even tell you. There's one small pole, and yet it's always in the way.
Yeah, I know. It's the poles of high school stadiums. That's the golden voice of Todd Elvig, our executive producer. J.J. Jerome right side. Now he pushes a Viking over, and that's the power running we have seen all year long, even last year and before, by big J.J. Jerome.
He's going to need to do a lot of that. Unfortunately, the only issue with this is Monroe really doesn't have enough time to just do a ground and pound. They're going to run out of time. Even if it's successful, they don't have enough time to do that because you know Lake Stevens is probably going to put up a few more points at least. So they're going to need to do a little bit more than that. They're going to need to go. They're going to need to go in the air.
And they give them the first down. Good not faced with that decision, and the Viking lineman jumps off, but no call, and Zimmerman looks over. Spoiler alert for the World Series at Wrigley Field. Top of the ninth, 2 out. Indians up 1-0.
Top of the ninth, okay.
JJ cuts back. And boy, this stingy Lake Stevens defense, and they're still blocking.
Well, and Tom Try kind of talked about that earlier. You know, he knows he's going to give up some yards to J.J. Jerome. And he has. He's given up a few, but it's the 2 and 3 and maybe 10. He wants to avoid that 60-yarder, and he's doing that. Kind of sticking right with his game plan.
Not many big open field opportunities for J.J. Jerome, the senior, who's been bottled up. Zimmerman, now he gets up the pocket, nothing there. He's got chased.
Face mask.
Face mask.
That's definitely going to be a face mask. So.
And Tristan Keith was all over Zimmerman.
That's going to get him the first down.
A little bit too much. As you'll see, our lovely Lake Stevens poll.
Personal foul face mask should add 15 yards. High school, we talked about this. If it's 2nd and 20, that personal foul doesn't get you the automatic first down. You just get the 15 yards, and wherever it lands, it lands.
And here we go.
But this one's going to be a first down.
So Monroe can't really say their offense and their play is creating some yardage here.
They'll take a 15-yarder, though.
And to add insult to injury, 2 costly turnovers in the first half for Monroe, which has been very rare this year.
That one I think it was by Isaiah Cole, where he was actually escaping the guy. Could have gone for some serious yards, and they just stripped it right out of his
Great
hands.
job, yeah. Anthony Hutchinson took it right away. 1st and 10 from their own 46. Fakes it to JJ, now back to pass. In trouble again, just tucks it down, and he has no answer for the big Viking defensive line.
And again, that's one of those coverage sacks. He's got nowhere to go with that ball. So he's got to try to run around, and boy, that's a big loss there.
Big Matt Saveo, 51 tackles. He leads the team in sacks with 7 coming tonight, and he's just a junior at 6'1" and 165. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he loses 11 yards on that play.
2nd and 20. Zimmerman looking for something. Center screen. J.J. Jerome makes a move and slips down.
Unfortunately, he slipped. He might have got a lot more than that. Manages to get, 5?
Set up a 3rd and a mile. Just cannot get any momentum at all.
No, and they had a couple times in the first half, and they turned the ball over. Everything going wrong for Monroe tonight.
3rd and long, the Vikings fans cheering the defense on. Zimmerman goes deep into coverage, and the only one who was going to catch that was the Lake Stevens Vikings, and again, Anthony Hutchinson.
And I don't know if you saw that when that ball left his hands, it took him out at the knees on that.
We'll see. Todd Elvig mentioning it. Yeah, he bounced it almost into Isaiah Cole's hand. That would have been something.
Yeah, it did look like he almost came up with that.
4th and 18, they have no choice. Down 35-0, 8:07 left in the third.
Yep.
Well, I guess they do. Zimmerman.
He's got a foot.
Fair catch there called by Rasmussen. And they'll mark it down at the 16-yard line. Rasmussen maybe a little tired. He's got 3 touchdowns tonight off his 5 TD performance last week.
Yeah, and he's only got 5 receptions, but 3 of them are touchdowns.
He's efficient.
Well, you know what he's doing. He wants a T-shirt.
He does.
And he wants one for his mother.
That's right. We have a special Adrenaline Fundraising WESCO 4A Championship for a player of the game afterwards, and he is the leader in the clubhouse right now with 7:56 as they turn it over one more time to this just unbelievable Viking offense. Handoff up the middle.
I think it's Blake May.
Yeah, it is Blake May, and this time the Bearcats wrap him up. It started off the May show.
It did. The first couple series were all Blake May. He's still sitting on 13 carries, 103 yards. Well, that was before that play.
35-0, 7:28. 2nd and 9. Nick Stevens there in the black and gold with the purple. They pitch it to May. May cuts it back up, and again,
he's going to be right by the first down marker. Maybe a
is.
foot short, possibly. Oh, they're giving it to him. Wow, that's a home spot he got there.
1st and 10 for Lake Stevens. First down machines. They've pretty much done anything and everything they wanted tonight.
They're imposing their will, that's for sure.
As we were talking about that Bothell game, a big story of that game were the transfers, which is just somewhat commonplace now in high school sports, and we're happy to report to our knowledge we don't have any there tonight in this game.
We're talking about something we're not going to talk about.
That's right.
We don't have to talk about the transfers.
And this time,
so we're talking about it.
The boys up front in the white jerseys from Monroe take care of business to May. That was good. Can you go over that one more time? I want to make sure I want to chart that.
If you're following us, all year long we've been talking about all the transfers,
Yep.
and we don't like it and whatnot, and we don't have to talk about it tonight, so we're talking about not talking about it. It's real simple.
No one.
Stick with me.
The articulation is just unbelievable. 2nd and 11. May.
Oh,
and he gets 11.
Man, he's going to be right. See where they spot that ball. Great running by May, and they gave him the first down.
Mateo Rezo, the Bearcat there on the tackle. The junior has played so well. All these Bearcats coming into tonight again, 8-0. Holding teams, they are just blowing out right now. They are holding opposing offenses to 7.1 or 2 yard or
Both
points.
teams, yeah.
Yeah, but that one's passed. It's incomplete, trying to go to Hutchinson.
He sidearmed that one. Again, if you're just joining us, if Lake Stevens scores here, we're going to start a running clock, which nobody in their wildest dreams would have thought that was going to happen tonight.
Thought this was going to go down to the wire, toe-to-toe.
If you would have told me one of these teams is going to get a running clock, I would have said you're out of your mind.
Yep.
I usually say that to you anyway,
That's
but
true.
I would have meant it.
A couple times tonight, usually. 5:41 left. Bardou. Hutchinson wide open, can't hang on. JJ was about to greet him.
Well, that's one of those he's lucky he didn't hang on, because I think Jerome would have just undressed him on that play.
Licking his chops there. 3rd and 10 for the Vikings. The Monroe in the first half, they had a couple drives that they stopped, and the offense could never back up any type of momentum the defense created.
No, and then they had one going, and they lost the ball on everything just went wrong for them.
Let's go 4A here. 1st and 2nd place, NPSL. Over the middle, no one there, incomplete.
Oh, and he's kind of dragging him around after the play, too. So it's going to bring up 4th and long.
Trying to go to Murren.
Yep, here comes the punting unit. Well, that was the chance. That was the chance Lake Stevens had to really put a nail in the coffin with a running clock, but didn't get the job done.
And Zimmerman has he's an outstanding high school quarterback, taking nothing away for the senior who's been heralded very high. He's in the recruiting system, and he cannot get anything going.
Negative.
And Isaiah Lewis hasn't touched the ball tonight.
No, we haven't really seen Isaiah Lewis at all.
As the punt, and they'll let it sit down at the 20-yard line. Isaiah Cole looks at that.
We've seen a lot of Isaiah Cole. And the one of the Monroe's their secondary is really struggling tonight. But Lake Stevens has 3 really good receivers, and then you got Blake May in the backfield, and there's just too many people to watch.
Ekstrom, we talked about, might have had that sore hammy, and Ron Henthorn telling us at halftime he's on that bike every time he comes out, just keeping it warm. As Zimmerman fumbles the ball, and maybe it's going to stay with the Bearcats, but they're going the wrong way as Jerome pounces on it at the 5.
Heads up play by Jerome just to pounce on that, but looks like they gave him some. Did they give him some positive yardage on that?
That's our classic high school spot.
Looked like it should have been farther back than that.
Did he lose 5? Oh, I guess he gained 2.
Well, what are they calling that? Second and they're still saying 2nd and 10, but it's a lot farther than that.
Zimmerman has got to get rid of it quicker. Goes to Lewis, and this is Isaiah Lewis. And that is the first catch.
There's a flag coming in late. I don't know if he got some face mask. The flag came right after the tackle, so a lot of times that's a personal foul. Somebody getting just a little too aggressive. See what they're going to say here.
First catch tonight by Lewis. By Austin Martin. Oh, boy.
The push off on the offense. That's brutal.
They just cannot catch a break, Tim Boyle.
No, every time they have a shot at it, something goes wrong.
Isaiah Lewis, though, getting into the program. Good for him to touch the ball. He's a big part of their offense this year.
Now it's 2nd and they're saying 2nd and 20, but 2nd and 12.
2nd and 12. Zimmerman, Jerome to his right. Jerome spins, and they'll give him 4 up to the 24-yard line.
And at Lake Stevens, their defensive line is just playing out of their mind tonight. See, those are normally 12, 15-yard gains for J.J. Jerome. He's just a powerful back. Again, we might see him at the linebacker position in college, depending on what he decides to do and where he goes.
He's got over 1,800 all-purpose yards coming tonight this season. Zimmerman back, comes up, and Zimmerman just has nowhere to go. He's tried to slip up to the middle of the pocket all night, and he has nowhere to go.
And that brings up, it's going to be 4th and long, and pretty soon they're going to have to start thinking about going for these on 4th down. They're going to run out of clock is what's going to happen.
3:33 left to here in this 3rd quarter. Scott Ohsman, Tim Boyle, Ron Henthorn with you, our executive producer, engineer, 5-tool player. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Todd Elvig here running the master controls as Zimmerman goes back and Rasmussen's around his 50 there. He fakes it, then he punts it. And Jake takes it around the 35, hesitates, and just goes down. Good coverage there by Boo Boo and Isaiah Cole for Monroe.
A smart move on his part. They don't need a big run back there. Field the ball.
So this is 4A, but all kinds of fun adventures going on in WESCO 3A and around the state.
How about the Snohomish Meadowdale game?
The Panthers.
Who would have thunk?
Kai Smalley rallies the
Todd's shaking his
Snohomish
head over there.
Panthers
I don't know what
last
he's shaking
night.
his head about.
If you didn't see it on STSPN, you can go back and watch on our YouTube channel.
But boy, Snohomish comes up with a huge win.
May on the left side stretching it out, and big Schwint.
Nowhere to go for May there. Looked like he could have cut possibly inside and got some yards.
Still good energy there, Tim. There's Rizzo also on the tackle, and plenty of football left to play this year no matter what happens for the Bearcats.
Oh, yeah. Both these teams are actually going to move on. They're both going to get a home game even, a home playoff game. And both of them should get a team they can easily beat, actually. So, they're not done yet.
2nd and 10 for Connor Bardew. He flips it over, almost intercepted, in and out of Hutchinson's hands. And boy, oh boy, Blake Bingham wanted that one.
And he jumped the route there, and he timed it pretty well. Almost had it.
Pick 6 is what he wanted, and that would have at least given something for all these great Monroe Bearcats fans who are in the orange a couple days before Halloween.
3rd and 10 here. Yeah, 3rd and 10. Monroe hanging on by a thread.
By a thread. It's going to take. Do you believe in miracles? It's going to take one with 2:23 left in the 3rd. At their own 35, May in motion. Bardew just has plenty of time.
Oh, and he's just
going deep.
Dump it deep.
Gets caught
my!
at the 20-yard line.
Is that Rasmussen?
That's Trey Long.
Oh, Trey Long.
The
We called his name
sophomore.
earlier. And what a pass. And Bardew talked about it earlier. The guy's not afraid to go long. We'll see how many yards he got on that. But, boy, that was huge.
Trey Long, the sophomore. I mean, how many backbreakers can we have tonight by
that
the
was a
Lake
dagger.
Stevens Vikings? That was huge. That 3A again, the Snohomish Panthers victorious, taking on beating the South 3A champion, the Meadowdale
by
Mavericks,
a lot.
by a lot.
Uh-oh.
And here's a break up the middle one more time, and it's big Blake May.
He runs right over the cornerback there for an extra couple yards. Boy, and this will be the dagger right here if they score. This will be the wooden stake in the heart on a full moon.
And Halloween.
Yeah. All the ingredients are there.
Well, this is going to turn into skeletons in the closet here from Monroe. Nobody's going to watch this tape or want to see it as far as if you're a Bearcat fan. They got to move on. And second-year head coach Michael Bumpus done a tremendous job. 1st and goal at the 10.
Oh.
And this time,
Blake May met with a big hello by number 69 and loses a few.
That's 57, I thought. It is
57. Okay.
Josh Felder, again, their leading defensive tackler, the big senior. 2nd and goal now from.
He lost about 5 yards on that play.
They have a mark there at the 14. It's 35-0. Bardew, wide open. Rasmussen, can he make it 4? Why not?
My. 4 TDs for Rasmussen, and he's having a field day. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to start what we call the running clock.
Wide open middle of the field, and he stretches across. 4 touchdowns for Jake Rasmussen.
And 4 for Connor Bardew, and that was a perfect throw, too.
Getting a score in for Glacier Peak up on Monroe, 35-6. And now we wait, and we are looking for a score of the Jackson Mariner game, because that'll determine whether or not we're going to have a Kansas City tiebreaker between.
And that would be like on Tuesday, maybe.
Monday or Tuesday. We got to check that, but it would be Glacier Peak, Mariner, and Jackson, kind of a college football overtime style, as Bardew the hold and Widman.
Oh, looks like it was. Monroe's saying false start. It looked to me like he jumped off sides on the end there. Let's see what they say here.
Big Mason Gack pushed over there for the Vikings.
Off sides, Monroe.
Got Jesse McLean down there on camera, our main camera. And he is surrounded. You can barely see him. He is amongst many fans. They'll try this PAT one more time. The hold by Bardou, and Widman puts it up, and it's good.
42-0. Are we really seeing that correctly?
59 seconds left in the third. Back with more after this. You're watching Friday Night Football on STSPN.
You know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family. That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. You need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. Look us off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
The Vikings fans fired up here on our side of the stadium. They are seeing everything they wanted against their kind of becoming their arch nemesis here, the Monroe Bearcats. And they are well in range for their 4th consecutive, Tim Boyle, WESCO 4A championship.
Unbelievable.
Came up just short last year for a state championship.
Starting to see a few people leave in orange-colored apparel.
And here's Isaiah Lewis with the ball. See if he can do anything to get some enthusiasm there for the Bearcats. Nice return, their best of the night, up to the 37-yard line.
And with this running clock now, there really isn't enough time. Even if there was a miracle, there really isn't enough time because the running clock doesn't stop. It keeps running. Even if they score here, it still stays running.
This just in, 29-20 Mariner over Jackson in the third quarter. Keep your eye on that.
Glacier Peak needs Mariner to win that game.
Zimmerman passes incomplete. He had a wide open receiver there, and he's down. He got popped.
He gets popped right after the ball went by. It looked clean.
It is not Zach Zimmerman. Thank you to Aaron Lammers.
We didn't even.
We're checking scores. We got a lot going on up here.
Looks like it's number 4 though, doesn't it?
I thought, yeah, there was number 4. Maybe I think it was Thibault in there for maybe on that play. We'll go to break, ahead to the 4th. Rain football. Check it out. Start of the 4th quarter, you saw Rain football had a great opportunity. STSPN this past summer covered the Women's Tackle Football League, the WFA. Over 50 teams in the league. It is outstanding. What a great product. This will be the 5th season for the Everett Rain. And check it out this season. And if you want to try out, just go to everettrainfootball.com. Look forward to more of that.
What's the qualifications?
I think I'm not one for the technicality. I want to say you have to be 18 years or older, but you'll have to check that.
Todd saying you have to be a girl. But there's gender neutral.
Jerome with the carry, he'll grab 3, and I'm going to stay out of that combo.
Oh, come on, Scott.
Come on now, 11:44. Outstanding quality football. These women are tremendous. They have, in the Everett Rain, they have several All-Americans. As you see, a limping Viking coming over, and that's one of the things that Tom Try, both coaches are always worried about, staying healthy. And this one's caught. Reception on the far side by Isaiah Cole. That's good enough for a Bearcat first down. As we are in running clock territory, 42-0.
Monroe trying to at least get some points on the board.
Mirren there with the tackle for Lake Stevens. We thought we had a quarterback change, but Zimmerman's still in. Now he gets it back over to Boo Boo. It's caught and tackled right there at the 45.
Lake Stevens still not given an inch there. Now there is a positive here for Monroe. They really haven't. It's good that they actually get to face some real good competition right before going into the playoffs, because neither team has really been challenged dramatically this year. So it's a really good challenge, really good warm-up for Monroe, if there's a positive to come out of it.
Flip it over to Jerome. He thinks about it. Now he's going reverse and he's going backwards. It's just been that kind of night. That kind of encapsulates the entire evening since the minute it kicked off, and Jerome's frustrated.
Yeah,
as
he's
he'll
going to
lose
lose
more.
a bunch on that.
They'll bounce back, Monroe and head coach Michael Bumpus. They'll move on. They have a home game no matter what, going leading second in WESCO 4A, so they will be hosting an NPSL team.
I think they'll get a team that they can probably beat too. So I think it's a good warm-up playing Lake Stevens tonight.
Third and 15, Zimmerman going deep. He's got Sir open. Sir makes the catch at the 20, down to the 15.
And he threw a BB there. That was a perfect pass, right on the money, moving target, just what Monroe needs. They definitely want to go away, get out of here with some points for sure.
Sir, just a junior. And it's been rare for Monroe to be anywhere close to the red zone, Tim Boyle.
Tonight it is.
JJ. And he takes the Viking pile with him down to the 9 or 10, 11-yard line.
And Lake Stevens comes out of the pile with the ball, trying to plead their case that they recovered a fumble. Not going to happen.
No, big Nathan Mead, a little slow to get up. The junior, 5'11", 305. They have met everything they can handle tonight. And now it is number 11, Thibault in at quarterback. He gets it to Boo Boo. It's complete, and he's taken down immediately. Just what's happened all night long at the 10-yard line.
I think that's number 4 at quarterback, Scott.
That was number 11, sir.
It looks like number 4.
Oh, that is 4. I'm sorry. I thought it was 11.
Number 4.
Ah, he's playing tricks on me.
I can see how you can see that.
Thanks. Aaron Lammers and I must go to the same optometrist.
I think you guys do. Because I kept thinking that still looks like Zimmerman.
I know it
to
was,
me.
but I thought he.
I just say it was a beautiful pass. If their backup throws like that.
Jalen Thibault, the tackle on that last play. Here's Zimmerman now scramble. Not gone well for him. He gets some time. He gets in, and it's incomplete. Trying to go to Boo Boo or maybe Jerome.
It looked like he was going to Jerome there, but just a little bit off the mark. And Jerome actually had 2 defenders on him. A lot of scrambling around. He had to do that the hard way.
Brings up 4th down. They can get a first down at the 5. Ball sitting there at the 9.
Look at that quick little guy on the field. That guy's fast.
He is.
The ball boy.
Sign him up.
I know.
And they're going to go for a field goal here. And Zach Zimmerman, their kicker, long of 39 on the season up to this point. He's 2 for 4.
This is going to be about a 25-yarder.
Hold is good. It's up.
Look at that.
And
They're
it
on
is
the
good.
board.
3 points. And for Monroe, it's something. It's just something. That's it.
Exactly. They needed that psychologically.
42-3. We'll be back with more right after.
They haven't put the points on the board yet, which is.
They haven't. They will though. It will come
was
back.
good, right?
I think it was good. I saw
it looked good to me.
We'll be back.
There they got it.
Fred's Rivertown Ale House. We'll be back right after this. Clock ticking, running clock, 6:41, but it was a running clock.
Yep.
Now with the
my understanding of the
25-yard field
rules,
goal.
it still stays running.
Oh,
that was my understanding of the rule, that even if they score a couple points, it still stays running. But
really?
Yeah.
42-3, 6:41 on the board right now here.
I may be obviously wrong on that.
We don't know.
Or they just stopped it because, I don't know.
Change of possession. Zimmerman, the kicker, the quarterback, it gets him on the board with a 25-yard field goal. See if Lake Stevens is going to put in the second.
And they go for the
They
onside
did,
kick.
and they might have come
and
up
he
with
fumbled, but I think Lake Stevens got it. So Lake Stevens recovered, ran a couple yards. They hit him. He fumbles, but it looks like they recovered their own fumble.
And that is Trey Long again, who comes up with the ball. Calvin there for the return and gives Lake Stevens good field position. And now we'll see if Bardou stays in. And he is. Trey Long back there with him.
Looks like both teams still have all their starters in. Clock is running.
Is running. 1st and 10 at the Vikings 41-yard line. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast here as a handoff
Blake
goes
May.
up. And Blake finally goes down.
Tackled
Rizzo.
with some aggression there.
If you're new to STSPN, we have hundreds, thousands of prep sports and everything else. You can check it out at STSPN.com. Our YouTube channel, STSPN or Snohomish Times. A lot coming up. We got winter sports. We're still going to show you some playoff football here. Basketball just around the corner. Playoff volleyball to come.
Maybe a wrestling match.
And hopefully this winter we'll get some wrestling coverage. Just the Wildcat to Blake May, and Blake strings it out, and he's handled nicely there.
Loses a couple. Bounced off about 4 or 5 tacklers, though.
Who's going to be your player of the game, Tim Boyle?
I think we got to give it to Rasmussen. 4 touchdowns. I think that's the way we got. That's the direction we got to go.
All right.
Plus, I heard his mom wanted a T-shirt.
Oh, well, that's reason enough right there. Jake Rasmussen, he is a touchdown machine. 5 last week, 10 coming into tonight. Put 4 on the board.
He was the one with 5 touchdowns last week?
He was.
He's coming on strong right when you need him.
Bardou.
Uh-oh.
Going one more time, this time to Hutchinson. He catches it at the 30.
Oh,
taken down at the 21-yard line.
What a beautiful pass right in the breadbasket, in stride. And that's why Connor Bardou's got some just ridiculous numbers. Again, Sega Genesis numbers.
That's a junior to a junior. Anthony Hutchinson, boy, in the season, no slouch in this offense. 30 catches, 519 yards with 8 touchdowns, and they just keep coming at you.
Well, and the scariest thing about this Halloween weekend is that he's only a junior. Hide the women and children, folks. Bardou's only a junior.
Junior to junior. And now they're going to mark off more. Not sure what the
I think it was a
was.
frustration penalty.
There could have been. 3:12. The clock keeps on ticking. 42-3. Unprecedented for this Bearcat offense. Not able to do anything.
Yeah, not what we were expecting out of this game. We were hyping it like it was going to be the game of the century.
And it was. Blake May the pitch, but whistles blowing. And we'll go down to Ron Henthorn for our player of the game. Jake Rasmussen 4 touchdowns to add to the 10 he had coming into tonight.
So he had 5 last week and 4 this week. He may get another one, who knows? But 9 touchdowns in 2 games.
He had a slow start through the first 6-7 games.
What a ball hog.
Actually, he was on an interview there with Steve Willits in the Great Prep Chatter podcast, if you haven't checked that out, produced by the Hawkeye. But, you know, Rasmussen was giving Bardou a little business, a little rough time about that.
Was he?
In the first part of the year, like, hey,
where am I?
I'm
here.
Where's my ball? I'm open.
Hey, there's one thing about great receivers. They want the ball.
Yeah.
They're going to let you know if you're not giving it to them.
You got to share the rock, and he has come up big. Those two have been friends for quite a long time. He gets it off to Blake May. Blake May crosses the 10 to the 9.
And even though it's 42-3, these guys still want to get in the end zone.
They do.
They're competitive kids. They want the ball. Even Rasmussen probably wants to get in for another one. And we got a false start though. It's coming back. 1:49, so that clock's just running. Well, they actually stopped the clock on a penalty, I guess.
And Blake May was the absolute superstar in the first quarter. No one could stop Blake May. And then he turned it over to Rasmussen to take it home.
Yeah, they decided to let somebody else have the ball. And again, Rasmussen with 9 touchdowns in 2 games, and 4 of them against Monroe. Come on.
Well, now May, Hutchinson, and Ekstrom, they're going to go back to Bardou and say, come on, man. Give it back. Give me something. May, again, with the carry into the pile.
I'm sure Tom Tried doesn't necessarily want to score here. The players do, but he doesn't want to run it up.
Still a lot of respect from these head coaches. Tom Tri's 12th year, and what a program he has built. They only got 3 starters coming back, has been talked about, and he's quoted in the paper, you know, they just are rebuilding. They're never rebuilding, they're just reloading.
That's a great quote too, and really a testament to this team. When you lose 8 out of your 11 starters and one of them's Jacob Eason.
Yeah, the Gatorade National Player of the Year.
They didn't miss a beat. There might be a Gatorade dumping here.
There could be something.
They're lining up like they're going to dump a tub on somebody.
I'm going to imagine, it's out of your screen here, but the Lake Stevens coaches now gathering. I'm sure they're talking about the handshake, about sportsmanship.
Oh, yes.
There is a heated smack talk and rivalry between these students leading up to this game as there's official timeout. And to 28 seconds, that's timeout Lake Stevens.
Timeout Lake Stevens, interesting.
We'll step away real quick. We'll set up our player of the game, the Adrenaline Fundraising player of the game. We'll get ready to go down to Ron the Wedge Henthorn here. Back with more on STSPN. Back here, just seconds away from the finish here. Want a big thank you our new sponsors. That's the King 5 cameraman. This is the game of the week on King 5 as well. Big thank you, Speedway Chevrolet, Lee Johnson Chevrolet coming on board to STSPN. I want to thank everybody from Speedway Chevrolet and continuing our presentation here at the WESCO 4A Championship. Connor Bardou just hands it off to May, and this might do it. Yeah, should do it. So Rasmussen, what is he going to finish tonight?
6. I got him down for 6 receptions, 105 yards, and 4 TDs. That was courtesy of Aaron Lammers.
And the Vikings fans celebrate, and the Monroe fans just going to scratch their head, go back to the drawing board, and get ready for some playoff football next week as they shake hands. We're going to go down to Ron Henthorn with number 6, Jake Rasmussen, our Adrenaline Fundraising player of the game
What
tonight.
about the T-shirts?
Does he have the T-shirts?
Does he have the T-shirts? He's got them?
He's got them tucked.
He's got them hidden. He's stealth.
He's crafty.
And if he gets Rasmussen first, that'll be great because he's got to fight off about 7 different media outlets here for him to get that. But we don't call him the wedge for nothing.
No, we don't. Want to also thank you, the athletic director here at Lake Stevens High School, Jason Pearson, being very gracious and accommodating a lot of press here, letting us come in and able to stream this game for you.
The wedge is going after him.
Wedge is going to have to get his run on.
What number is Rasmussen?
Number 6, Jake
number
Rasmussen.
6, okay.
And they want to celebrate, but trying to get him.
Oh, and he just got a nice big slap on the back from his coach.
There's Tom Try shaking the hand.
Ron's got Tom Try.
Let's go down to Let's go to Ron. It's a little scratchy.
Hey, Todd, down here with Coach. Great game, Coach, tonight. What do you got to say about the big score out there?
Oh, it was awesome. We played really well tonight. Our kids fired up. Big rivalry game. 8-0, 8-0. Both teams are good teams. I thought our kids answered the bell really well tonight.
Did you expect that big a score difference?
To be honest, I was pleasantly surprised. You know, I had a feeling like we had a great shot at winning if we come out and take care of business. I wasn't quite sure that we were going to have a running clock there in the fourth quarter against Monroe. So hats off to our kids. They were awesome. Our defense was fast and physical, and they just got off blocks all night long, made plays in the open field. Thought our offense did a great job of executing there, too, especially early on in the first, second, and third quarters.
Oh, great job tonight, Coach, and good luck in the next game and on the way to state.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'll see if I can get Jake here in a minute, player of the game.
Great job, Ron. Coach Tom Try it. And Mike just cracking up a little bit. Trying to get Jake Rasmussen, as you can see in your picture, all the media here, every outlet. There's a nice plaid there, Aaron Lammers.
How about the wedge being the first one to get Tom Try?
And there's also Frank
1380,
KRKO. Player of the game, 5 touchdowns.
Here we go.
Score tonight. What are you doing for a while, let's know?
I don't know. Our line's just stepping up. It's a real team effort. They're getting Connor plenty of time. And he's just making great reads and stuff. I mean, I'm not the only guy on the team. We have plenty of other receivers, but hopefully it'll free up the other guys a little bit when opponents start scouting us a little bit more.
I know you want to get back to your team, but hold up this shirt here in front of you a little bit. Go. I got one for you and one for your mother.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, she does.
Good care of you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Look up that way.
Our Adrenaline Fundraising.
All right, player of the game, Jake Rasmussen. Good luck, son.
Oh, great.
All right, back to you, Scott.
Nobody does it like the wedge. Nobody does it like Ron the Wedge Henthorn.
Look at the wedge gets Tom Try when there's 7 other media outlets. We got like every media outlet you can think of is trying to get Tom Try, and Ron's got him.
Hey, we've been seeing it for 6 years. Our 6th year here at STSPN. We've seen the wedge break through icebreakers and ice wedges and everything.
I think he jumped on an ambulance once when somebody had a broken leg.
Oh, thank you to Ron the Wedge Henthorn. What a night for Lake Stevens Vikings. They put a punctuation on any doubt that they are one of the premier best teams in the state of Washington.
Let's break that down. Monroe ranked number 7 in some polls, undefeated, having a great year. Lake Stevens just dismantles them. I see Lake Stevens going quite a ways deep in the playoffs. Again, yeah. I mean, this team looks as good as they did last year.
Their defense just was so impressive.
They're unreal. They really didn't have any holes. That defensive line just didn't budge. The offense, they had the tempo. Connor Bardou's throwing bullets. At first, he was kind of overthrowing his receivers. He settled in. He started throwing just dimes to people, and they just started running away with us. Blake May was, when they didn't feel like going on the passing game, Blake May had an answer for him for the run. They just did everything right.
And the contrast really was Bardou plenty of time to find his open receiver. Zach Zimmerman, the senior, he had no time, and he was held. Great job by Lake Stevens, but he had nowhere to go. He couldn't scramble. He couldn't make him pay with his legs as he's been doing all year long.
Yeah.
And that was a big difference.
Well, when we saw him at Glacier Peak was actually getting pressure on him, and Zimmerman was able to just run around and dodge people and still get the ball off tonight. Different story. The pressure was just too much, and he wasn't faking out anybody.
Well, that's going to do it from a great evening here of high school football, brought to you by STSPN. You can check us on Twitter at STSPN, Snohomish Times. 42-3, the Vikings just put it on the Monroe Bearcats tonight. But playoff football coming up. Stay tuned and look at STSPN.com, WESCO Athletics. And we'll see you next time. For our executive producer, Todd Elvig, camera, Jesse McLean, Ron Henthorn, the Wedge, a tremendous job once again. Tim, it was a blast. Thank you, buddy.
Absolutely.
All right, for
Thank
everybody,
you.
Scott Ohsman saying so long from Lake Stevens.